Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. That little red sign up there says, "We are live, we are live, we are live." And it is so. Death and destruction seems to be the flavor of the day, does it not? Yes, it does. Seems to be the natural course of things in this regard. So it's no surprise that my 250th morning coffee is going to be about the trolls and the haters and what they've done to me. Now, there's going to be some of you out there that has absolutely no clue what the hell's going on. So let me back up and explain to you what's going on. Years ago, 15 years ago, in some cases, a group of people decided it would be fun to harass people on the internet, primarily children. Now, obviously, somebody who was in the Cold War, to me, that I found that highly offensive. That you would go on the internet and harass little children. I found that highly offensive. But, as rumors go, I didn't think much of it. But it kept gnawing at me and gnawing at me and gnawing at me. And so finally, I decided, okay, I'm going to investigate. I'm going to go to this new platform called YouTube. And I'm going to investigate and see if children really are being harmed and find out for myself. See it for myself. See if that's true. So I go on there. Sure enough, it turns out children really are being targeted. They really are being harassed. And some are even committing suicide live on air. And I found that disgusting, to say the least. And so you have these people, Bubba Effect and his troll buddies. You have Last of the 813s. You have Annie Hands White. These YouTubers took great delight in harassing little kids, primarily in computer games, and literally getting them to commit suicide live on air. They thought that was funny. They thought that was cute. They enjoyed it. Hopefully now they're all enjoying their place in hell. Understand that everything that has transpired is not what you believe or think. Nothing is what you believe or think. You got my buddy down here, James Arnold Frost. Oh, he's a door gunner in Vietnam. No, he's CIA, posing as a door gunner in Vietnam. Oh, well, Von Helton only served 9.5 months in the Army as an armor crewman. No, actually, I did military intelligence. The armor crewman was a cover. Nothing you believe is real or true. None of it. None of it. Let's look at my boy. Let's look at my boy again, because y'all need a refresher. We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. William Casey, CIA director from First Staff Meeting in 1981. Everything means everything, dumbasses. Okay? Everything means everything. You've been played like a fiddle. Nothing you believe is true. However, having said that, let me continue because there's a lot of people out there that genuinely don't know, and so I'm going to bring you up to speed. So I expose these people, right? I expose these people, and I put them on blast. And then subsequently, I start my YouTube channel. I broke down and actually started a YouTube channel. I don't know. I still to this day don't know why the fuck I got on YouTube or Facebook or MySpace at the time or any of that shit. But I was pressured. Oh, Vaughn, you need to start a channel. You've exposed these people. You need to start a channel. You need to do this about. And I'm like, man, I don't even like these things. I don't like Facebook. I don't like YouTube. I don't like MySpace. I don't like any of that shit. You need to start, I was kind of peer pressured into doing it. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I made me a channel and I skyrocketed because I was out there doing something at the time not very many people were doing, which was telling you the absolute truth and telling you shit that really is curious and interesting, such as underwater pyramids, which to this day is one of the most watched videos ever. I put 2 copies on BitChute for you. One of the most watched videos on YouTube ever, underwater pyramids. But, I did something that, see, when I see an injustice, I have to talk about it. I have to expose it. That's just me. That's how I roll. And so here comes this stranger called Barack Hussein Obama. Now remember, he wasn't even a senator when I first heard about this clown. He wasn't a senator. He wasn't a guy. He wasn't anything. He was a letter stuffer in a DNC office when I first came across him. And I got a really bad vibe about the dude. And I said, I'm going to have to expose this motherfucker before he goes into office. I can't let this motherfucker go into office. He'll destroy the nation. And so I get on my YouTube channel and I said, hey, there's this DNC staffer that's making the rounds, and they're wanting to put this motherfucker in a high position in government. Don't do it. And then I went through all the hullabaloo. The guy's CIA. The guy is in COINTELPRO. He's not an American. He came here on a failed student loan visa. He's still here on a failed student loan visa. He's at this right now as we speak. Barack Hussein Obama is not in this country legally. Did you know that? Did you know that? It's true. He came here on a failed student loan visa. He's not here legally. He never has been. But he's a CIA asset, so I guess that makes it okay, right? Huh? Does that make it okay? Anyway, so now remember, this guy's not even a senator yet. He's just a letter stuffer in a DNC office. But I got a bad vibe about the guy, and they started talking about this guy, and I'm like, no, this guy's dangerous. Don't put him into office. Don't put him into office. Well, obviously, I got ignored, and the rest is history. But my exposure of this man, this non-American piece of shit, got me in a lot of hot water with some people online. They didn't like the fact that I exposed him as a non-American, that I exposed him as a CIA asset, that I exposed him as COINTELPRO. They didn't like that too much. And so they thought, hey, let's all have a little powwow over on Skype and meet to decide what we're going to do to this guy. We're going to destroy his family. We're going to destroy his finances. But we got to figure out how to do it. I have a transcript of that audio, by the way, just in case you're wondering. So they all got together, said, yeah, we need to destroy this guy. We need to figure out how to do it. And so that's exactly what they did. They said, all right, we're gonna destroy him. We're going to destroy his, everything. Now, you got to remember, at the time, I wasn't even married. And so they just started attacking me, which got them absolutely nowhere because I'm the fucking Teflon Don. I think even the trolls have to admit that by now. 15 fucking years, and they still ain't done shit to me. Now, of course, they've destroyed everything around me, but they haven't done anything to me personally. They've destroyed my finances. They've destroyed the property. They've destroyed, but they haven't actually got me. And we'll get into the spiritual aspects of that here in a minute. Point is, though, we're going to harass this guy. So, understand, they were harassing me. They were attacking me long before Andrea come up here, long before there was any kids. So this bullshit, oh, we care about Andrea. We care about the kid. No, they don't. They were attacking me long before Andrea came here. They were attacking me long before the kids got here. So it has nothing to do with the kids or with Andrea. Now, does it? No. It's because I exposed their Lord and Savior, Barack Hussein Obama, as a CIA asset, a COINTELPRO, and a non-American, and they didn't like it. So they decided on Skype, hey, we'll have a powwow. We'll decide how we're going to destroy this guy. So they kept trying. They couldn't do anything. But then when I got married, to Andrea, then they saw their opportunity. So I started going after her. They would talk to her back there on the other computer behind me, almost from the beginning. Trying to get her to hook up with her ex down in Alabama. Trying to get her to leave her husband. Telling her that her husband is going to rape her and kill her. All kinds of nice shit, right? But they're good Christian people, right, guys? Right? Fuck Christianity. They're good Christian people. That's why they're back there telling her to leave her husband. And that her husband's going to rape her and kill her. And I got all their messages over on that fucking computer over there. All of them. Every nasty, filthy fucking comment that was said to Andrea. I got it all. I got it all. So these good Christian people, decided, hey, we're not getting anywhere with this. But then I had children. And that's where I made my mistake. I should have never, ever let anyone on the internet know that I had kids. Because then they found out they could get CPS here locally, Clay County CPS, to do whatever the fuck they wanted. I'm telling you, if they wanted CPS to pat their head and hop on one leg, they'd fucking do it. So they got CPS to just keep coming out, taking the kids over and over and over again. They even got the head of Clay County CPS to come out and literally give my wife a nervous breakdown in my kitchen right there in front of me. And if I'd have known back then what I know now, I'd have had her arrested immediately. But see, being a guy, I don't know that much about women's issues. I sure as fuck now, though. But anyway. So, yeah. I mean, even the head of Clay County CPS got involved. Came down here personally to personally destroy poor Andrea. Because we're good Christian people, right? We're good Christian people. That's why we're going to drive a young 25-year-old girl insane and put her in a fucking insane asylum. Because we're good Christian people. Now, meanwhile, the terrorists online are laughing at these good Christian people because they're a bunch of fucking atheists anyway. They're not even Christian. They're not Christian. They're atheists. Now, I'm not sure about Tammy Hill Alexander or David Blount or some of these fuckers on Facebook. Maybe a few of them are Christian, but if they are, well, that speaks volumes about Christianity now, doesn't it? But anyway, so moving right along, they found out that they could use CPS as a battering ram, as a weapon. They weaponized CPS against me and my family. The result being that Andrea was driven insane, which I summarily had to divorce her. And they kept getting the kids taken away over and over again. But we still continued to persist, even with all that. We kept right on going. And these dumbass trolls couldn't understand. How are they still going? Why aren't they completely destroyed? Want to know why? Because I don't go out here and break the law. I don't go out here and carouse around. I don't go out here and start trouble. I don't have a criminal record. And that's why there's nothing they could do to me, because I don't have a criminal record. That's the advantage of being a model citizen, is that nobody can touch you because you've never done anything wrong, Oh, sure, they can make up charges, and they do, and the trolls do, and even Clay County did, but it doesn't have any effect because I have no criminal record. Anybody can go grab my criminal record and say, yep, by God, he ain't even got a fucking traffic ticket, which I don't. I am literally a model citizen. I don't break the fucking law. And so when you go into court, there's not a damn thing they can do to me because I have no criminal record. I've never done anything wrong in my life. Not down here. Now, I did get in a fender bender with a semi truck up in Ohio, but even that wasn't my fault. He was in the middle lane, and I didn't know if he was going to turn left or right, and unfortunately, he plowed right into me. That wasn't my fault. That was his fault. Anyway, so they couldn't understand why they couldn't destroy me. They were able to destroy everything around me. They were even able to get Clay County to take everything away from me, take away my kids, my finances. But then they got the idea, hey, we'll get his relatives to come down there and finish the job. And so they did. They reached out to the Frosts in Ohio, said, hey, you need to go down there and destroy this motherfucker once and for all. Now, good old James Arnold Frost has been destroying me all this time, unbeknownst to the trolls even. I could take you back all the way back before I was even a legal adult, where good old James Arnold Frost down the road here was telling Mom, yeah, sell the family business out from underneath your son. Renege on paying off the student loans for your son that you promised to do. And various and sundry other things. So good old James Arnold Frost has a nice long history of destroying me and mine. And so when the trolls reached out to him, he was more than happy to come down here and finish the job. And that's exactly what they did. James Arnold Frost, Larry Frost, Ronald Raymond Frost came down here, and they played it cool for a while until they saw their opportunity, and then they struck. And they decided, hey, we'll renovate Alice's home. And in the process of renovating her, we'll throw her in the nursing home, pump her full of fucking drugs so that she's out of her mind, and then steal her fucking blind, rob her blind, take everything she has, which is exactly what they did. And so Mom gets on the phone, calls James on the phone, says, hey, give me back my lawn equipment, my money, my jewelry, and everything you took from me. And James says no and hangs up the phone. He was on speakerphone. Everybody in the house heard him say it. And the house was packed with people. Everybody in the house heard him say that shit. So he can't deny it. So the trolls, working in collusion with the Frosts, have done a really good number on me. They've destroyed my family, killed my father, killed my mother, drove my wife insane, got my kids taken away and adopted out summarily. So they've done a really good job on me. Stole all my inheritance, even got Clay County to take my damn stimulus checks away from me for child support. And them owing me $67,000 in back child support, but I got to pay them instead. It's just like this last court case in district court. I won my court case in district court, but I had to pay their fucking attorney. What the fuck? No, that isn't how it works. I was supposed to get damages, penalties, and court costs. I wasn't supposed to pay his fucking ass, Stivers. I wasn't supposed to pay Stivers a dime. He lost his fucking court case. But see, that's how they do. They manipulate these courts down here. They manipulate everything down here. And unfortunately, they get away with it, sadly. But we're going to make things right because we're going to go into circuit court, not civil court now. Okay, civil court only goes up to $50,000. We're not going to civil court. We're going to circuit court, which is more akin to a state level court. It's not quite, but it's close. It's still a county court, but it's almost to the point of a state level court. Why? Because we're dealing with millions of dollars. See, the Frost absconded with $32 million of my inheritance money, and I want it back. I also want my kids back since they were illegally seized. And so we're going to make things right. And then when I'm done throwing the Frosts in prison or getting them executed, whichever works, because they all deserve the death penalty. My mom is dead. My father is dead. My wife might as well be dead. And my kids were almost dead several times. And I almost died several times. So, yeah, they need the death penalty. Now, I don't even know if the death penalty still exists because I haven't heard shit about it. But if it does still exist, then obviously it needs to be done. It needs to be dealt with. But in any event, life in prison, okay, fine, I'll deal with that. I'll settle for that. But the point is that when I'm done with the local, I told the YouTube trolls this many times. I said, when I'm done with the frost, I'm coming after you. And now it's finally starting to sink into these trolls' minds. You ought to have seen all the bevy of emails I got. They're in panic mode. They're in full panic mode because they know now, it's finally dawned on them now, yeah, you really are going to jail. You really are going to go to hell cell. You really are going to get sued out of your fucking gourd. And you're going to, I mean, imagine, folks, 3 little kids looking out a window, watching watching their mother rather get arrested, and her not even guilty of anything, and kicked off the property. 3 little kids watched that out a window. Do you have any idea what kind of psychological bullshit that is for a little kid? And Clay County did that. That deputy sheriff should have said, no, I refuse to arrest her. She's not committed a crime. I'm leaving. Goodbye. That's what the deputy should have done, but he didn't. He listened to my mother and James Arnold Frost and took her off the property anyway. But, he didn't know. And I'm not saying he did. He didn't know nothing. He was put in an awkward position. I understand that. It's just like when CPS come out here and took my kids away for potty training a puppy in my house. It was so embarrassing that the damn police officer actually stepped outside. It was that fucking embarrassing. I mean, we're going to take a man's kids because he's potty training a puppy? Really? Yeah, even the police officer was embarrassed. He had to go outside. And then the CPS worker comes in later and says, oh, by the way, I potty train puppies in my house too. Well, gee golly willikers, right? So yeah, we're going to make this shit right. Now you say, Vaughn, you spent your last $200. What if you don't win in court? Well, if I don't win in court, then the gods intervene. You want to know why? Because they already told me. They said if I don't win, and if my kids are harmed in any way, the rivers will run red with blood. Now that's their words, not mine. That's their words. And the gods have already proven it. They've killed 15 of these haters on YouTube. 15 of them are dead. Jennifer Souls being the most prominent one. She went by the handle Southern Raven on YouTube. She's very dead. She thought it would be cute to try to put a hex on me. And the gods are like, yeah, no. And she's dead. My sister comes down here and decides she's going to do a hostile takeover. And she got the Frost to take her around on a 4-wheeler to all the property and see everything. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna take this all away from James Arnold from James Helton. I'm gonna take it all away from James Paul Von Helton now. I'm gonna take it all away from him. And the gods are like, no, you're not. She's dead too. I had a vision. I actually had a vision, which is very unusual for me because I don't get those every day. I even told her ass that. I said, sis, I don't get visions every day. I saw a vision. Your body was bloated. Your skin was yellow. And you had a cigarette in one hand and a wine glass in the other. Now, there are more personal details about this vision that I'll keep to myself. But essentially, that's it in a nutshell. So I told my sister to her face when she was here. I said, sis, I don't get visions every day. You need to listen to me. I saw this. Oh, and now you got to understand, my sister listened to Barbara Streisand. She hung out with Gloria Steinem and Jane Fonda. So she was a dyed-in-the-wool communist. And so her response to my face was to laugh at me. I don't believe in that hocus pocus mumbo jumbo shit or something to that effect. And I'm like, sis, I'm not kidding. I'm being serious. I saw an actual fucking vision. That don't happen to people every day. It's a load of horse shit. So she goes back up to Ohio and time passes, a few months, whatever. And then all of a sudden, Mom gets an emergency phone call, and she goes booking it up to Ohio because my sister is dying. And so Mom stays up there until she expires, and then she comes back down here. And so when Mom come back home, I asked her, I said, just out of curiosity, Mom, I didn't tell her about the vision. I said, just out of curiosity, Mom, what did Glenda look like? She said it was very bizarre. Her body was all bloated, her skin was yellow, and she had cigarette smell on one hand and alcohol smell on the other. And I said, oh, really? I hadn't told her about the vision at all. Now, like I said, there's other more personal information in there that I wish not to disclose, but there was no question that the vision came to pass 100% like I was shown. Lesson learned. If somebody says they got a vision, you better fucking listen, especially when they're serious about it. So, time passes. The Frosts finally see see a way to make their move. They all have them a little powwow on the bridge there at Lake Alice. And they decide how they're going to divvy up my property, how they're going to divvy up the cash, and what they're going to do. I watched them have their little meeting up there. I watched it. Didn't say anything because I don't do that. I just watch. I observe. So they did exactly that. They come in here, stole all the legal documents out of the house. We're renovating your house, Aunt Alice. Sure they were. No, they were here to steal. They were here to take everything. So they took all the legal documents out of the house, took $5 million out of that closet right there. That closet right fucking there. They took her expensive Victorian jewelry out of that jewelry box back there. These lock boxes under this bed here, they broke them all open and took the World War II war bonds out of them. And then they carted off with all those legal documents, insurance policies, certificates of deposit, all kinds of shit. Took all the legal documents. Even took the title deed to my truck. Now, mind you, this was after my father had died. My father died back in 2006, 2007, somewhere around there. And James Arnold Frost, bless his heart, comes down and tells Mom, sell all of his daddy's stuff so he don't get nothing. Which Mom did. Mom sold everything of Dad's. And I'm like, Mom, James Arnold Frost didn't take real estate law in school. That was what I did. Why are you listening to this man? Oh, he told me to do it. Now, it still didn't impact me just how much control he had over her. But, we'll save that for later. But yeah, he got her to sell everything in my dad's, but some guns. There was some guns, pistols primarily, that my daddy had given me. And then there was a rifle, a 22 long rifle with a white diamond on the side, and was clip fed that my daddy had given to me. He made damn sure he got that one. He went down, told Alice personally, my mother personally, said, give me that gun. And she gave it to him. What you don't know, though, is that when they first come down here, he went down there and manipulated her mind and got her to kick me off my own property. Mom had given me this sister property down here, 1015 Crane Creek Road. That was my property. I was living on it. It was mine. Mom literally gave it to me. And he come down here, brainwashed her into kicking me off my own property and giving it to him. Well, you know what, folks? That's not legal. Ask any real estate agent. That's not fucking legal. So no matter how this ends out, I'm getting that property back because it was taken by illicit means. Which means the Frosts are going to have to beat feet their fucking ass back to Ohio now, aren't they? Unless they bought more property with my money. But they're going to be denied that too because the judge is going to take everything they own and give it to me as collateral. But anyway, the point is, they did everything in their power. I had to file a lost title just to put tags on my truck because they refused to give the title to my truck back. That's a fact. That's a fact. And James Arnold Frost is on welfare. Larry Frost is on welfare. Ronnie Ray Frost is on welfare. Jeff Frost is on welfare. Junior Frost is on welfare. Where are they getting all this money for cars, four-wheelers, double wides, single wides, renovating all this property and shit? Where are they getting all that money from? Oh, they're getting it from me, my inheritance. See, they didn't take the inheritance and put it in the estate account like they were told to do by the courts. They took it and put it in out-of-state banks. Federal banks, according to Larry. Larry said it was a federal bank. Now, I don't know what the difference is because I thought all banks were federally insured, but whatever. Anyway, the point is, it's out-of-state banks. Obviously, you can't keep World War II war bonds because they're going to be hot as a fucking hot tamale. You know, people's going to be like, hey, where'd you get them World War II war bonds at, Mr. Frost? You know, they're going to be asking too many questions. So, yeah, they had to keep them out of state. Anyway, point being is that nothing is as it seems. Ronnie Ray's like he's just a tail gunner or a door gunner on a helicopter in Vietnam. Yeah, sure he is. You don't learn how to fuck with somebody's head being a tail gunner or a door gunner in Vietnam. No, Ronnie. Just like you think I'm an armor crewman. Meanwhile, I'm having strategy and tactics sessions with majors and generals and company commanders. Told them, said there's a war coming, and we're not ready. That war ended up being Desert Shield, Desert Storm. And we were not ready. And I kept telling them, we got to get out to the field. We got to get out to the field. We got to practice, train. There's a war coming. My LT sticks his head in the tank. What are you doing, Private Helton? I said, I'm studying my tank manual, sir. Put it in his face. Here it is. He was, I guess, in shock. Not many people actually do that. And he's like, come with me. So I go talk to the company commander. And he says, tell the company commander what you told me. And I said, the company commander, I said, there's a war coming. We're not ready. And then, of course, that led me to become more than just a tank crewman now, didn't it? So when I tell you that literally nothing is as it seems, that's exactly what I mean. And you say, Bon, these people have destroyed your entire fucking life. And yet you sit there calm as a cucumber. How? I'd be pulling my hair out. I would be wanting to commit suicide. I would be ready to kill these fuckers. Well, you know, the thought had crossed my mind. I could have went the total Punisher route. I could have. But then I got lymphedema in my feet and legs. Very debilitating. Very painful, too, I might add. And so that kind of put a crimp in my plans now, didn't it? Yeah, it did. Because, you know, with lymphedema in my feet and legs, I can't be on my feet for very long. Hardly at all. You know, And sometimes they swell up so bad, it's even hard to walk, let alone run. And the pain is excruciating. You know, I got a, it was funny as hell. I got a kidney stone and the ambulance comes out. And they're like, "You're awful spry for somebody that's got a kidney stone. Why aren't you on the ground screaming?" I said, "Well, I got lymphedema in my feet and legs, so I'm already in pain. So, any other pain that comes along actually takes away from the pain that I was experiencing with the lymphedema." And they said that makes sense. But they throw me in the meat wagon and away we go. And I get to the hospital, and this is fucking bizarre. I get to the hospital, and the doctor comes back and he says, "Wow, you were telling the truth. You really did have a kidney stone." And I'm like, "People lie about that shit?" Caught me completely by surprise. I said, "Wait a minute. People lie about that shit? They lie about a fucking kidney stone?" And he says, you'd be amazed what they lie about." I'm like, "Well, you got me there." So anyway, point is, the stone was quite large, and everybody comes in. You know, how in the world were you not on the ground screaming in pain? I said, "Dude, I was already in pain. When you're already in pain, what's another pain?" So it took the pain away from the lymphedema and replaced it, and it was a lot less than the lymphedema was, and so therefore it wasn't as much, And everybody's like, "Well, that kind of makes sense. I don't get it, but whatever." Anyway, the point is, so that's been the experience, and so obviously with my legs and feet being wiped out, I can't do the Punisher route no more. So I use my knowledge, my 190 IQ, and I go down to the library and I start pulling books off the shelves, hundreds of them, and I start studying and studying and studying and studying. And now I am probably one of the most powerful sorcerers in the United States. I did that for a reason. Because obviously, with bum feet and legs, I can't physically go out and do shit. So I have to learn how to do things with magic, with spirituality, and the supernatural. And obviously, being a good guy, which I am, I'm going to use whatever talents I have for good. I'm going to try to stop evil wherever I find it. Well, there is no greater evil than destroying a man's family, now is there? So we're going to deal with that first. Now, obviously, had I had my druthers, I would just pop all their heads like a fucking zit, and that would be the end of the shit right then and there. And the gods are like, "No, you are extremely dangerous. So what we're going to do is we're going to bind you up and throw you at the weather situation and let you deal with the weather situation, and we will handle your personal affairs." And I'm like, "Okay." And so that's exactly what we've been doing. So when you're fighting someone, you're not fighting me. You're literally fighting the gods of creation themselves, and possibly my encounter-suited friends as well. But you're not fighting me. I'm doing weather. While most of you folks sleep, nefarious individuals and groups have weather weapons, literal weather weapons, that they utilize to make life a living hell here in the United States. Case in point, that freak blizzard right in the middle of 90-degree weather down in Texas. Anybody remember that story? It made headline news. Anybody remember that? 90-degree weather. And then all of a sudden it drops to 20 below zero and snow and ice everywhere. How the fuck did that happen? Weather weapons. Weather weapons. That's how it happened. 90 degrees one minute, 20 below the next. Yeah, that's not normal, folks. Come on. Use your brain here. That's not normal. That made headline news, folks. What was that? That was a weather weapon. And so when the gods stuck me on weather, they did so for a reason. Huge hurricanes, Category 5. Oh, by the way, speaking of hurricanes, did you know they're coming up? They're trying to come up with a Category 6 now, because the hurricanes are so large that they're actually wanting to come up with a new category now, a Category 6. That made news too. And so they stuck me on weather duty to protect the United States against all these man-made hurricanes that they were sending our way. And the trolls, I love the reaction of the trolls, because this was great. The trolls are like, oh, he ain't really busting up hurricanes. It's all bullshit. And I had girlfriends online that were from Vietnam. And so they sent a hurricane to Vietnam to try to kill my girlfriends. And even the trolls were like, the trolls had nothing to say at that point. They're like, wait a minute. They sent a hurricane to kill his girlfriends in Vietnam. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they really did. So that should tell you something right there. These are weather weapons. They're not real. They literally sent a hurricane to Vietnam to try to kill my girlfriends. Not even joking. And the trolls know it. And the trolls have no way there's no explanation for that, other than, yeah, it's weather weapons. That's exactly what it is. I mean, seriously, stop and think of this, folks. 20 fucking hurricanes every year in the United States? No, fuck no. That's not normal. Every hurricane in the entire year, and they're all pointed at the United States? Give me a break. No, that's not normal or natural. So I start busting up hurricanes over and over and over again. Had a good time doing it too. And then, like I said, they sent one to Vietnam to try to kill my girlfriends, and the trolls had nothing to say at that point. The haters, they had nothing to say at that point, because they're like, oh my God, they tried to kill his girlfriends. Yeah, they did. And they almost succeeded too, but I busted that one up too. That's how they do, man. They're evil. These motherfuckers are evil, man. There's evil everywhere. Believe it or not, there's evil everywhere, man. It's horrible. All kinds of evil players out there. So I got a full plate. I definitely got job security. That's for damn sure. But you noticed here recently, they ain't very many hurricanes. You know why? Because they know it's a fruitless effort. I'm just going to bust them up. So you notice they haven't been sending any anymore. Because I just bust them up, man. That's what I do. And so what's the point in making a Category 5 hurricane and throwing it in the Gulf if Von Helton's just going to bust it up? See? So you notice there ain't been very many this year. That's by design. But yeah, the gods have me fighting against these weather weapons and shit. And so that's what I've been doing. That poor girl on the Weather Channel. The hurricane was here a minute ago. there was a big, huge Category 5 heading for California. And I caught wind of it, and so I go out and I bust it up, and and I come, I get up out of bed and I go and I run in there and I turn on the Weather Channel, and the girl's sitting there talking about it. Now, see, they've got this on a loop, right? They've got this hurricane on a loop, and so they're sitting there watching the loop, and it's an active hurricane still because they're watching a loop video. But when they go to live shot, no hurricane. It's been completely destroyed. It's little pieces of hurricane going everywhere where it's been completely destroyed. And then the lady's like, it was here a minute ago. That cracked me. I wish I'd have saved that video. I should have got a video of that and saved it. It was here a minute ago. But yeah, that was fucking great, man. But it was a massive hurricane. It would have killed thousands and thousands of people. And I mean, yeah, Von, it's a bunch of leftists and America hating pieces of shit. Why would you care? because I don't want, these hands don't shed innocent blood, folks. All right. I do my best to save lives, not take them. And and busting up these hurricanes is a real pleasure. Now the point is, I'm one person. I can't be everywhere at once. So here's what they done. They got crafty. You're gonna love this, guys. They got crafty. And I said, okay, he can bust this shit up. So what we'll do is we'll have tornadoes up here in Montana, and we'll have tornadoes down here in Florida, and we'll have tornadoes in Tennessee, and we'll have tornadoes in California. And in that way, he can't be in every place at once, which is true. So here's what I did. I called upon the four winds of the eternal gods, and they literally swept everything right out off the East Coast out to sea. All of them. Just right on out to sea. Everything. Brilliant, huh? Pretty cool, right? Because they thought they'd be cute. They thought they'd be crafty and tried to start shit in multiple states at once because they said, hey, he's one man. He can't be everywhere at once, which is true. So I just called upon the four winds of the eternal gods and just swept everything right off the East Coast out to the sea. Tornadoes and all. Isn't that great? Isn't that awesome? And at that point, I think that was the point when they're like, okay, we're not going to win against this crime. So we're just going to shut everything down. And so we haven't had many hurricanes or tornadoes ever since. Why? Because they know it's fruitless. They know it's pointless to do it. Because I'm on the clock, baby. Every time I take a nap, I'm on the clock. But you notice we didn't have very many this year, did we? No. Well, last year for this year. You get what I'm saying. So we'll see how this year goes. But thus far, we haven't had any this year. Not very many. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. Now, I'm sure some troll is going to get on the end. I found a tornado over in bumfuck Egypt somewhere. And well, okay, fine. What do you want, a cookie? I'm not saying they don't exist at all. I'm not saying they ain't never going to be a hurricane or a tornado. But what I'm saying is, isn't it interesting that since I've been doing this shit, you notice there ain't been very many hurricanes and tornadoes. That's for a reason. Cinnamon coffee cakes, folks. Absolutely perfect for morning coffee. The cinnamon goes so well with coffee. It's just amazing. The cinnamon's real strong and real sweet, whereas the coffee is not. And so putting the two together, it ends up being a real mild and very tasty combination. Now, for those of you that think I'm full of shit, let's look at my boy here again. Well, maybe. What the fuck? There he goes. All right. We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. William Casey, CIA director from the first staff meeting in 1981. Are you reading this, people? Are you taking this in? Everything you believe is a lie. Yes, even Christianity. Sorry. I mean, all these good Christian people decided to destroy a man's entire family, rob him blind, and take everything he fucking owns. Good Christian people, my ass. Of course, as an archaeologist and historian and amateur cryptozoologist, I know who the Christian God really is. Jehovah, pardon me, hi Brittany, is actually Moloch. Moloch, well, who the fuck is Moloch, Bon? Moloch is a god, little g, actually a demon, archdemon from ancient Sumer, who demanded human sacrifice, child sacrifice in particular, and in numerous bloodletting and, all kinds of filthy animal sacrifice and just every abhorrent thing you could think of. And Hubal is much like him, and he's from Mesopotamia. That's who the Muslims are actually worshiping. And so you have two archdemon, two mega demons, let's call them, in the world right now, Moloch and Hubal, and they pretty much run everything. Well, they're running monotheism anyway. They don't control me. So if you're a monotheist, you're under the control of two demons and don't even know it, don't even realize it. And that's all going to be exposed here pretty soon anyway, because it is. All that shit going on in Bohemian Grove, yeah, it's all going to be exposed. Don't worry. So that's where we're at. So now we go to court. And, I know people are, well, what if you lose? Well, if I lose, then I lose. If I lose, then I lose. But I ain't going to lose. Like I said, when you're at rock bottom, the only way to go is up. And I'm at rock bottom. So the only way I got to go is up. But I've got my encounter suited friends. I've got the gods of creation. I got my doggies. I got my magic. I'm good. I'm good. Everything's going to be just fine. I'm going to get my kids and get my stuff back from the Frost. And like I said, I don't give a damn what Clay County does to the Frost. I could care less. As long as I get my money and get my kids and get left the hell alone, I don't care. They need, but they're giving me the Sester property, which means they're going to have to go back to Ohio any goddamn way. If they don't go to jail. Because they, going over to someone's house and manipulating them into kicking somebody off the property is not legal. Okay. That's not a legal real estate transaction. Okay. I don't give a damn what anybody says. That's not legal. Okay. So yeah, the property was obtained by illicit means, and under real estate law, Vaughn, they went to the courthouse and filled up. I don't care if they filled out 100 papers. I don't care if they filled out 100 pieces of paper. It was gotten by illicit means, which means anything they done is null and void anyway. Okay, you can't use the law to break the law, folks. Okay, it doesn't work that way. All right, it doesn't work that way, and that's what these trolls on YouTube are going to find out to their chagrin. You can't use the law to break the law because it's going to come back on you hard, really hard. Anyway, that's where we're at. And so I wanted to kind of give you an update and let you know that there's no way I can lose. He walked into district court with 2 fake documents. That's 2 felonies right there. He walked into family court and committed perjury. Now, that's not a felony. However, it doesn't bode well for him. So, yeah, he manipulated 2 courts of law. He's done. Stick a fork in him. When you manipulate 2 courts of law to destroy a man's family and his finances, there's no way they're going to be able to spin this and, oh, he's a good, upstanding Christian man. Yeah, good, upstanding Christian men don't go around destroying people's families and destroying people's finances and robbing them blind. Okay, that's not a good Christian man. Well, not supposed to be, until you realize that they actually worship Moloch. But anyway, that's beside the point. Point is, yeah, they're not going to be able to spin this. They were, I get these emails. I got some emails. I got several actually. Solar Marshall's a drunk, or Solar Marshall's a drug addict. What does he care? What does he say? Why would you want him? And I said, listen, I don't care if Solar Marshall was drunk, high, and doing the Watusi or the backstroke. He still observed a group of people destroying a man's family and destroying his finances online. His testimony will hold up. He saw that shit. Drunk, high, or otherwise, he still saw it. So his testimony will hold up. He saw it happen, just like many, many other people saw it happen. Have you all forgotten that video of that man wearing a suit and tie? Sent me a video saying, Von Helton, I don't personally like you, but what the trolls are doing to you is illegal, immoral, and unethical, and I'll even help you get an attorney. I tried to reach out to the guy, but couldn't do it. But, this guy didn't even like me, makes a video saying, hey, what the trolls have done to your family is abhorrent. And then he gives a bunch of links to, lawyers and that sort of thing. Little did I know, though, that Frost and the trolls and their attorneys were sitting there filling all the Kentucky computers full of bullshit about me, Andrea, the kids, my mom, my dad, all of that. So that when I go online and I call somebody and I get on the phone with them, they either get angry and hang up on me, or they cuss me out, or one lawyer called me a crazy conspiracy theorist. They put all kinds of filth in the computers about me. So one of the conditions of the court case is that all those computers get scrubbed. I mean, I can't even call somebody to clean a fucking house. That's horrible. So anyway, we're going to get that done too. We're going to put a restraining order against CPS so that the fucking YouTube trolls can't use CPS to destroy whatever marriage or family I have left, which should have been done a long time ago, but for whatever reason, Judge Harris decided not to do it. He should have. I mean, after about the second or third time a CPS being called by people that aren't even fucking American, you would think Harris would have been like, okay, these people aren't even fucking Americans, let alone living in Kentucky. I'm putting the kibosh on this shit and just stopping everything, and then put a restraining order on CPS. That's what he should have done. Well, he didn't do that, and so now it falls to circuit court to do it. And, Judge Lewis is like, we're talking about way too much money for me to handle, and so everything had to be switched over to circuit court. Not civil court. Civil court only goes to $50,000, folks. We're not going to civil court. We're going to circuit court. Now, the interesting thing about circuit court is that it can actually wear two hats. It can wear a civil hat and a criminal hat. What does that mean? That means that any information that is found in that case that is criminal can be bound over to a grand jury. Yes, it can. So the Frost walking into district court with two fake documents, the Frost committing perjury in family court, the Frost paying people to go into family court and lie, that's all going to come out. It's all proven in a court of law. Documents are everywhere. Multiple documents, thankfully. And so, because, Vaughn, they'll just scrub all the documents. No, I don't think so, because I know where copies are. Oh, yes, I do. I know where copies are. So scrubbing the documents ain't going to help them. Not at all. Are you hearing me, Frost? Are you hearing me, Mr. Stivers? Scrubbing the documents will not help you. There are copies out there. I made damn sure of that shit. So, we'll go in and we'll just empty all the documents out. We'll get rid of all the documents. Like you did over there at Clay M's office. I called Clay M's office. I said, "Yeah, man, I want to get my child support that you owe me, my back child support." Well, we don't have any record. I said, "What? We don't have any record of you being married. We don't have any record of the divorce. We don't have any record of you contacting us. We don't have any record of you emailing us." And I'm like, "Say what?" Somebody went in and literally wiped out all the information about me. Now, they did manage to find where I'd paid $1,500. But yeah, they scrubbed all the information. Gee, I wonder who did that, Mr. Stivers. I wonder who did that. Mr. Stivers. Anyway. So, yeah. But this time, scrubbing all the documents, just deleting all the documents ain't going to help you, Mr. Stivers, because I have copies. And I know other people that have copies. See, unlike you, I'm about 5 places ahead of you. And so what I done, I made copies of everything, and I sent them out in manila envelopes to certain individuals. And if you decide to do something really, really fucking stupid, all those manila envelopes suddenly get opened. Imagine that. Isn't that fucking amazing? So no, scrubbing the information is not going to help you, Mr. Stivers. No, it is not. It's not going to help you one bit. Now, I'm going to win this case. The Frosts, whether they go to jail or not, is immaterial. They're going to have to give me all my shit back. They're going to have to give me the Sester property. Now, you say, well, what about all your dad's stuff that was sold? That's a good question. And the answer to that is I don't fucking know. That shit may be gone for good. I don't know. I mean, it was illegally sold, but it's in the possession of a third party, and that makes things complicated. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Either way, though, doesn't matter. This is going to end, and it's going to end for my benefit and their detriment. And then, trolls and haters, I'm coming for you. Just like I promised. You cannot stop what's coming. You cannot. And with that, we're at exactly 1 hour. Isn't that amazing how the gods work? Praise the gods of freedom religion. Praise the gods of freedom religion. For they are mighty and they are awesome. And a praise to my countersuited friends up there too, because they're pretty cool too. So, with that said, y'all have a pleasant day and a better tomorrow. Bye.
Bye-bye, Boo Bear.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.